Hey there. You're up for getting down with low prices, right? Well, Kroger goes lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh. So when you're crushing on clementines, seeking a savory salad, or choosy about your chicken, just open the Kroger app. You'll get more ways to save on the fresh you love with personalized coupons, weekly sales, and rewards like fuel points. All for prices that are even lower than the everyday low. So go where you know it's lower than low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Starburns Avenue.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music quits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you.
Population Forrester.
Corey, the Buttercream Dream Forrester. Our buddy, welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Oh my God. This has been a big week for you, and we're going to get into it more in depth for the Patreon fans, as we're going to really talk about what going on this very heartfelt, very truthful, and fucking hilarious rant, but truthful. Like, you managed to make the most anger funny. I don't know how you did it in a rant that we posted on our Twitter. Is one of the highest, viewed
the most liked thing we've ever posted.
Done. So we're going to talk about it, but how are you feeling after it all?
I mean, good. You asked, like, how did you do that? How'd you? I really don't. I wish that I knew the secret to what I did, because it was just, it was the only video that I've ever posted online where I wasn't trying to do anything,
right,
except for I was so mad and I just started screaming, and I actually went downstairs and my wife was like, what's hey babe, like what's going on?
I love a good hey babe check-in.
Yeah,
love a good hey babe.
She could because I do the Buttercream Dream and he screams, but she could tell the difference between that and what I was doing. She goes, you okay? And I said, I'm real upset. I got on the internet and I screamed, and she's like, oh, okay. And I said, and honestly, it'll probably do pretty good because it's not really that funny. And that seems to be how it goes for me.
I disagree. I think it was actually really insightful and really cool. And like I said, for our Patreon fans, we're going to get into the kind of the play-by-play of when you realize, oh shit, this is going viral. We'll talk about that later, but
it's super relevant for this show.
If you haven't seen the clip or the rant, you can go to our Twitter and find it. You can go to Corey's thing and find it. It's just amazing. But it is relevant, as Jay said, to the show because it deals with stupidity and people not confronting their own stupidity. And as we stand on this crazy moment in our country's history, this precipice that we staring off into the abyss, I ask you, do you feel like the world is now at its dumbest point that we've ever been at?
I think I'm going to have to go with something. Trey Crowder, who you've had on this show before,
yes.
I think multiple times. I used to think that, and then he used to have this bit, which was basically, I don't think that people are getting dumber. I think it's just that dumb people have more of a voice now.
Yeah.
Whereas he's like, the dumb people couldn't even read, and now they can tweet, which is so true. Is like we are the smartest people on earth are smarter than they've ever been, without a doubt.
Yep.
But my dipshit cousin is allowed, he has the same kind of smartphone I do that has the same apps on it to where he can say a bunch of stuff. So I don't know, man. I really believed in Trey's joke that it's just that the dumb people are loud. But those dumb people got so loud that look what happened and look what we've had to deal with for 4 years. So they're definitely more mobilized. I'll tell you that much.
They're more organized.
They're prouder.
And they're prouder, aka the Proud Boys. But the truth is that they're more mobilized. We haven't really discussed this much, how dumb has gotten organized and mobilized in a way that we've never seen it. And that's what we do on the shows. We try and depict dumb behavior and trying to understand why. We pointed out as this is dumb, and then we asked the question, why did this happen? What was the fight that happened 2 days before that led to two people fighting with machetes in a driveway or at a Burlington Coat Factory parking lot? And so we have stories Corey sent to us by our awesome fans, and then the way to do it is you hashtag Dumb People Town and just tweet at Daniel Van Kirk with a link to the story.
You guys, our fans, you are outsourcing right now. For
That's
this
right. We
thing.
outsource it all, and then you guys bring it on into us. So let's jump into a story. Corey, you want to
ready?
jump into one?
Yeah, I do. And can I ask you a question before we do?
Sure.
This may be a question that you constantly get asked, but I feel like I need to ask. How many, percentage-wise, how many of these are from Florida?
Many. I would say if you were to really, let's put a percentage on it, Dan, for real, because we've never done that. What
Well,
do you
it's kind of
think?
like when, like in the early 2000s when you could bet like Tiger or the field.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like only a third, right? But 2/3 is every other state.
Right. So
Right.
So it feels like a lot, and also, no other state is even close. So because of that, it feels like even more.
If we were to put it's like if you were to look at it as like the Raphael Warnock runoff, there
Yeah.
were like 8 candidates in there, or 15 or 17 or whatever. But in the runoff of the actual election, he still had 33% of the votes, and the
Yeah.
next closest one was like 8%. So like
Checks out.
that's kind of where we're at with
Yeah.
Florida. Florida has a large piece of the
Yeah,
pie.
it's just, it's them
figured.
and then the field.
It's a
Right.
big.
Yeah,
Florida
I
is
figured.
the big swinging dick of the United States, and
You damn right it
I
is.
read a comment that
It
said
is
that
unsheathed.
America is the Florida of the world.
Well,
now it is.
And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kinda.
That's why I'm so loud about my beliefs, because like I'm the guy who looks like, I'm from Georgia, so I'm the South, and all these Proud Boy dudes, they look like me.
Yeah.
And so I feel like every time they go do something dumb, I have to go, hey,
You're the
it wasn't-
counterbalance.
Yeah.
I try.
do.
I
And
try.
I've said it. I said it's so important, and it's never been more important to have people like you speak up against it, because I think that
It's got to come from you. It can come from us, but we say it all the time, but it's got to come from somebody who's there being like, hey, we're all not like this. There are a lot of
it
people-
actually gives people who don't look like that and don't sound like that hope.
Yes.
It gives people
Sure.
from other places who are like, ooh, that whole part of the country I can't.
Well, let's get into a dumb story right
Okay,
now
ready?
with you, Corey.
Just
Here
for
we
the
go.
record, I also am exactly what I look and sound like.
Yeah, Dan.
So I am all of those things.
Dan, you are, but then
Okay.
you're also incredibly thoughtful and incredibly
Well, I
calm.
feel like I sound like that.
Yeah, you do, but
Okay.
like you also are.
I don't know, Dan.
I'm really good at yelling, get over here.
Yeah,
I'm
get over.
like the Scorpion of Midwestern dudes.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Sent in by Jeffrey Alberghini.
Alberghini.
I know, at JJ Alberghini. Find your G and your H in there. Woman returns engagement ring because it's too cheap.
It's gonna
Bye-bye.
be a great.
This is what I
marriage.
love. It doesn't say called off. The
Returns
wedding's
it.
not called off. Wouldn't you feel like if someone gave you your
But who'd she return it to? The guy or the store? What were you going to say, Corey? Sorry, we cut
to
you off.
Kohl's?
I mean, I don't know how much self-respect this individual has, but like I'm walking that second.
Yeah, that's my point.
That's a red flag, my friend.
Like the headline should be groom calls off wedding
Yeah.
after bride returns ring.
because
How
she
about
said it was-
woman reveals herself to be awful?
Yeah, there you go.
That could be a better headline for that
By
story.
the way, you
Wedding
aren't,
off after woman calls ring too cheap.
you aren't returning a shrimp scampi dish at Red Lobster that wasn't cooked.
I
too
just
much.
wrote a tweet that is in my drafts where I used shrimp scampi.
Like
yes.
you're not. You're not.
Woman after months of dating man reveals herself to be who she is.
That's right.
That's another one of those things too about like in that would have never been in a story in the past. Like that's the fact. The reason that we even know about that is because of the 24-hour news cycle.
That's
Like
right.
in
That's right.
1800, do you know what important person you would have to tell that you sent your engagement back for that to actually get in print?
Like it'd have to
That
be
is
like Mary
tremendous.
Todd Lincoln.
Yes.
In order
Yeah.
for us to know about it, like it had to have been that person.
But no, it's just some lady who is the worst.
Yep.
Why? Like, how do you think this woman feels right now? Do you think she's reading this in print, just being like, and
Yeah.
now he'll know?
Sadly,
right.
sadly,
yes.
yes, I do.
I do think she's that way. She's like, okay, now where are my people at? Right. Because it is one of those things of like, what about the gesture? So you think the
Like
gesture?
even Beyonce didn't have stipulations as to what type of ring you should put on it.
Of course.
If you like it. If you like it, you should have put a ring on it. Not you should have put a ring that is satisfying my needs.
Right.
Now, I assume that Jay-Z got her a proper rock.
He did.
Again, this fella here, there's no avenue of his life is he ever going to satisfy this gal.
Nope. It's never going to get better.
Never.
It's never going to get better. Okay, so what happens?
It seems the rules for how much to spend on an engagement ring aren't dead yet, at least to some. A woman reportedly returned her engagement ring to her partner because it didn't cost 10% of his salary.
I like that she knows what 10% of his salary is.
Also, what? I mean, I know we've already hit this over the head. Well, I had a friend, right? And she got engaged. And she's like, oh, we got engaged. And we were like in our mid-20s. And I go, oh, that's awesome. You didn't do an engagement ring? She's like, no, I'd rather we bought a house. And I'm like,
yeah, I mean, we're in a pandemic, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And we were in one then, just in Rochelle, too.
That's just life in Rochelle, 98 until 2009.
Spring Lake got real weird. So, but I was like, yeah, what a great. Now, also, if she was with a person who wanted to give her a ring and she wanted to have one, I'm not going to get into the argument of what that ring should look like. Also, good for them. But I was like, yeah, it doesn't.
Well, but Corey pointed it out.
Measure the love part. And you notice we're like 3 sentences into the story. No love at all.
None.
No like commitment, love, trust,
thank you,
partnership, being into the same type of sex. None of all that good stuff has even come up yet.
Nope.
It's just...
Yeah, everybody always says the first year of marriage is hard. I think it would be a lot easier if you didn't just spend $45,000 on a wedding and a ring and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't really have to be that difficult. It's just that let's go have this, let's get this expensive ring that I have to be so protective of and have this party for all these people that, frankly, we're not going to talk to anymore, and that's fine.
Corey, I've been to more than one great wedding where it was on somebody's farm. They did a pig roast and a beer truck. And it was a great time. And they told people, you don't want beer? Bring whatever you do want. We're going to have all the food, but we're going to have the music.
Let's break down what this woman is saying. She's like, someone told me it has to be 10%. Well, who?
Who?
Direct ring, companies.
We'll get into it.
Ring companies tell you it should be 10%. So you're basically saying I'm a person who only listens to what other people say.
To a corporation that is trying to
I can't make up my own goddamn mind about what is important to me.
You're dumb.
Enough to the point where I'm going to risk losing this relationship.
No, we haven't said anything about calling this goddamn wedding off.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I think the
hell
guy's
are you
still
going,
in.
Jacob?
Sorry.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Jacob, get back here.
Get back here. Put the leash on him, for God's sakes.
Okay. The ring, which is made of white gold with diamonds and sapphire, costs the man about how much money?
Okay, Corey. Now here's how we're getting down to it.
What is the level to where she went, I still want you, but fuck this ring?
White gold, diamonds, and sapphires. How much was this ring?
Diamonds and sapphire.
10% of your salary.
They got blocked on Twitter too, right?
We have to think about it like this.
Right.
This is clearly a woman who is very materialistic.
Yes,
This is clearly a woman who money means a lot to her. Therefore, the fact that she's even dating this guy, he's got to have a good job. Like I'm thinking that he makes at least $100K a year.
Okay.
And so she's broken it down to that means that he should spend $10,000 on the ring or whatever.
At least.
And I'm saying he spent $6,000 on it.
That's a very good. I like this thinking. I think Jay, go ahead. You go.
I was going to say $3,000.
Okay.
$3,000 is what he spent on the ring. I think he makes $80,000 a year. And I think this is how much of a loser I think she is. I think he makes $80,000 a year, and I think this ring costs $7,500 to her
for $500. She's like,
if I don't stand up for it now, I'll never win any argument for the rest of our marriage.
Okay. Two things. First off, I want to remind everyone, as 4 straight white males, this is not a commentary on any women, just this dumb person.
Right.
And when we did the story about the boyfriend who threw a funeral, we made fun of that dude up and down the line.
What about the story that we just did about the boyfriend who proposed to his girlfriend while she was asleep?
I just want to.
It cuts both ways.
Yes.
Guys are dumb. Women are dumb.
We're just talking about this dumb person who happens to be a woman, as far as we know how she gender identifies.
Again, we are valuing the gesture of love.
Okay.
Sure.
One of you is exactly right.
Oh,
So now we get to play the game.
All right, Corey.
Who do you think is right?
Are you going to stick to your guns, Corey? You think it's you?
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's me,
you said $6
I'm
grand.
I'm good at carnival games and stuff. I can just always
No, you're
guess
on
things.
this.
I don't know.
I've been
I
to a lot
trust
of weddings
Corey.
in Rochelle that were also a carnival.
Ring toss still rigged. All right, Jay, go ahead.
I'm going to stick with mine.
Okay.
And I'm going to stick with mine.
What I say, 3,500?
3,000, and you didn't say how much
you said
made.
7,500.
I said 30.
You said
You said
6,000.
3,000.
3,000.
Okay.
Okay.
The ring, which is made of white gold and diamonds and sapphire, cost the man. We're not even halfway through this yet. Cost the man. You're gonna hate her so much more before this is done. Cost the man about $3,000. Way to go, Jay!
Damn it.
Now,
Boo,
Jay,
yes.
because you won that, you get to have a small prize, or you could play for a medium or large. 2 mediums get you an extra large.
Okay,
A large
fine.
and a small
And a
get
ZZ
you 1 extra large.
And a ZZ
2
Top
smalls and a
mirror.
medium get you 2 larges.
I'll just take the frosted ZZ Top mirror and the sleeveless
Those
shirt.
Coke
I'm out.
mirrors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I
Okay.
love those things.
All right. We talked about that, right?
Yeah, we used to
when
have like
when
a
I
collection
realized
of
that
them.
they were all Coke mirrors.
Yeah.
And
This
I
is-
didn't know this.
Who needs a mirror that is like 3 inches by 3
The
inches?
Guns N' Roses, the Bon Jovi Slippery When Wet, they were all just Coke mirrors.
The ZZ Top Eliminator car. Yeah, we got it.
And roach clips. However, he allegedly makes enough that if he followed the 10% rule, he would have spent 1/10 of his salary on the engagement ring, and he should have spent how much money do you think at the top end of what he makes
What he should have spent.
what he should have
What's
spent
10% of his
had he
salary?
gone with
That's right.
10%?
Well, because if we go too far, then maybe this woman's not as big of a jerk as
That's
I
right.
thought.
That's right.
Maybe it's like, because I mean, if this dude makes $500,000 a year, it's like, okay, look, money isn't everything, diamonds aren't everything, but like, hey, come on.
You could have spent a little bit more in.
I'm not some street trollop here,
That's
fellas.
yes.
I'm gonna say he makes. All right, I'll say he makes $200,000 a year, and she truly expected 20.
20 grand. Jay, what do you think?
$75,000 a year, and she expected to.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with 80,000.
Okay. At the top end, if he spent 1/10 of his salary, it would be around $15,000.
Oh,
so he makes
close, dude.
Hey, if we go Price is Right rules, I went over.
No, we
No,
don't
we
do
don't
those
care. We just
rules.
go
Closest,
closest.
to it, man. This is hard.
The man posted about his dilemma on Reddit's Am I the Asshole forum, asking if he had done the wrong thing by spending only $3,000 on the engagement ring for his fiance. In the post, he explained that while he does make a sizable salary,
Sure.
this year has been somewhat challenging because he's been financially supporting his parents, his sister, and his nephew.
Oh my God, this woman.
all who had COVID-19.
Oh my God.
He is also still supporting his sister who lost her job. To make matters worse, he said his job announced that 150 people will be laid off next year, so he wanted to be smart about his spending, though he doesn't think he'll be getting laid off, but wanted to play it safe.
Doesn't think he'll be getting laid either.
And I'm
Jeez.
back to she's the worst.
That's
She's the
right. We've
worst.
now
This-
come around the cul-de-sac and we're back to
This
where we were.
dude is
How alone is he that all this happened to him and he was just like, I guess I better post it on Reddit. I mean,
Well, he's like, am I crazy? I'm sure
Right,
he's like,
right.
am I?
Or he's like, I don't know if I can bring my problems to anyone else in my family that's
Right.
currently battling
True,
Yeah.
because
COVID.
they're battling
And-
Good call.
COVID. Like, I need to bring this to the public who I don't know.
only the
call-
neckbeards will truly know
Yeah,
what I'm going through.
neckbeards.
I need people typing with their mouth open to
Dan,
tell me what to
Dan,
do.
this is a moment where he's like, babe, come here. I want to show you something on
Hey, babe.
Reddit.
I gotta show you something on Reddit.
No, you leave it open.
Babe, have you
Leave it
seen
over.
that? Hey, babe, have you seen this yet? Mm-hmm. Have you
Like-
seen this yet?
Yeah, like I spent more on my wife's engagement ring, but only because me and my wife's engagement coincided with the first time I was ever financially successful in my life.
So
and
you
know when
basically
you
went,
first,
yeah.
You're celebrating.
when you first get
You're
it, you're just
celebrating a lot.
I paid in cash.
Yes.
I brought it in a duffel bag to
Yes,
the guy.
yes.
But if we had gotten engaged during all of this,
Yeah.
Right.
then it would have been the exact same situation where I'd be like, look, I know normally, but come on, lady, we got this
We don't know.
pandemic on here.
No, we can't do that. I mean, it is really funny. You are like, when you first are financially, and this for anybody, no matter what money you're making. I remember when we first were living in New York, and I had the best job. I think I was making $35,000 a year. Okay, which
That's
for a
huge.
22-year-old, and we were in
It's
it.
enough to buy her a ring.
I felt like I had, it's enough to buy her a $3,200 ring, and I would have beaten this guy. But the idea is that I felt like I had all the money in the world. I was constantly paying for drinks. I was like, oh, you feel like a crab fisherman after the season. You come back and you're like, okay, here we go.
Want some?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the time bandit. And you need to take care of
When we signed our
everybody.
book deal, it would make my friends eventually would get like, I didn't realize that what I was doing was insulting because like I would just, everybody's tab. Like, no, it's, hey, I wrote a book. Which one of you motherfuckers wrote a book? Anybody? No, I'm going to buy it. So like I finally had people like, hey, you need to just keep some of that, okay?
Right,
and I
exactly.
didn't. So.
I'll never forget Usher.
Which one of you motherfuckers wrote a book?
I'll never forget. Usher was on Oprah. I don't know why I remember this. Diane in the
Daniel.
afternoon watching TV.
Your mom watching Oprah.
And Usher was on Oprah, and he had like on a $20,000 watch, right?
Yeah.
And so she goes, "You spent $20,000 on that watch." She goes, "Yeah." She's like, "What is wrong with you?" And he goes, "Well, it's worse than that." And then they cut to his entourage, and they all have the
that
same
watch.
watch, right? And then she's like,
Hell
"You
yeah.
bought all of them a watch?" And he goes, "Look, there's something." I can't remember how he said it, but he said it really well. He's like, "There's something horrible if we go everywhere together. If I go in to get a watch and then they're just all watching me get a watch."
That's true.
He's like, I can't be the
a
only
sweetheart.
guy like getting nice things. Otherwise, over time, that's just like the worst experience
Take
for
that,
him.
rewind it back.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
Jesus,
There
come
you
on.
go.
Ray.
That is
That's
at Sklar
a
Brothers,
deep
all
cut.
caps.
Thank you.
But I'll never forget that. I was like, I guess that kind of makes sense.
I mean-
otherwise you just always feel like shit.
Or take that money and give it to charity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Usher. He probably
He
did that
probably
too.
does.
Or get everyone really good Apple Watches.
This was pre that.
Now, if you
Maybe
give,
only take one guy with you to the watch store.
Right.
There
You know,
go.
you don't have to take all 20.
how soon, how close
It's
are
like
we?
The Bachelor. You're like, who's up for a one-on-one with Usher?
All right, Corey, so how close are we to getting Apple engagement rings? Like, we've now gone from the phone to the watch. I feel like the ring is the next
And
thing.
it'll automatically show you where
I
your partner is at all
guarantee you-
times.
There's been a meeting about it, like at Apple. Like I don't know how close they are to doing it,
but they've
I
definitely
feel like
discussed it.
The iRing.
there's been it changes colors, it spies on you, like it's got everything.
Yeah, Black
Tell
Mirror.
me, it tells you how many steps you've taken.
have, like, Fitbit.
towards getting a divorce.
There you go. They have like Fitbit rings. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God! This
How
is
many-
crazy.
how many
How many steps
steps out
away
the
from
door
your
she
wife
is?
you are? That'd
Yeah.
be
How
great.
many steps away from your wife you are at all times?
Even though the ring he bought was only $3,000, it was designed in a way that his partner wanted, the man says. He even had the sapphire custom cut into a pear shape as she preferred. He tried, guys.
I mean, and she probably was like, "Is this the way you think I look?
Oh, this is the shape
Oh,
of my
you
body.
think I look
She
like a
wanted
pear?"
it.
Really?
Since she returned the ring, the man's partner is reportedly refusing to talk to him. It's over. It's over, buddy. Like,
This
I
is what
hope
Corey said. Run.
I don't have
You
faith.
run.
I think to me that's the greatest $3,000 investment this guy has ever made.
It's a stress test.
He paid $3,000 to figure out that he didn't need to waste any more time on this lady,
I
and
look
it
at
saved
things
him
like this
money in
too.
the future. So
This is like
in a
as
Bronx
business
Tale.
goes, money.
If
Corey,
he-
remember in A Bronx Tale where he goes, "How much that guy owe you?" And he was like, $200. And he goes, $200. You never have to talk to
You have to see him again.
It's
Yeah,
done.
see him
Best
again.
advice I ever
you
got.
spent $200 to get this guy out of your life forever.
Forever.
It makes sense because the bartender that told me this was originally from the Bronx, but
Okay.
he told me one day I was at the Comedy Catch in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm sitting there. I was like, one of my buddies asked me for money, and he goes, "Do you like the guy?" And I was like, "I mean, he's all right." He goes, "Give him the fucking money, you'll never see him again." And I was like, "Oh, that's true," and it's true. Never seen him again in my life.
So good.
So true.
It's worth it. That's you paid to get him out of there.
You paying for distance.
Her parents, this is a quote from him. Her parents are accusing me of using her and treating her like cheap trash, he wrote.
So basically, now we know that she can get her parents to fight for her
Quote,
too.
Right.
I've tried to explain my point of view, but they won't listen and are demanding at least a 10% ring. They're demanding.
The parents are demanding a ring that they'll never wear.
By the way, this is not like a
a football like contract negotiation. Like
Right.
the team doesn't need
At the end of
you.
this,
Although you should have to take a Wonderlic test before you get married.
Yes.
And this is what Greg Fitzsimmons, great comedian, said, that every marriage
Should be a 10-year
Should be a
contract.
10-year contract.
And you re-up?
At the end of 10 years, you guys decide if you want to re-up.
You want to re-up? Are we doing this another 10 years? Let's renegotiate.
Look, we had a great run. 10 years is fantastic.
I mean, I love my wife, but she'll never listen to this podcast, so I agree. Like, that should be the deal. It doesn't make sense. Like, you were talking about there's a lot of things that don't make sense that we just do. Like, you were talking about making $35,000 a year, which, like, in my 20s, that was like whatever. That's why it's insane that when you're 18 years old, they ask you to pick out the thing you're going to do for the rest of your life. Because at 18, like, again, you get paid $25,000. What? You know how much cocaine I can buy with $25,000? Like, you don't think. So,
you can buy at least
people get
1
married.
ounce of cocaine with that, right?
I wonder.
Yeah, exactly. So I agree with you. 10-year contract, I feel like I would re-up, but I think that both parties should be able to go, you know what? I think I'm going to just go to a different city. I think it would suit me better.
I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
I'm going to trade you. I'm going to trade you in for 2 first-round draft picks and a player to be named later.
I wonder how many people would amicably split.
I think
like
a lot.
Very amicably.
I think a lot
like
would.
in that like 8.5, 9th year, maybe even the 7th, they start saying like, if you want an early release from this contract, like I agree. Like,
and all of a sudden she's like so nice. You're like, why are you being so nice? She's in a contract
year,
year.
man. She's trying to do everything. And suddenly, like he's in a contract.
He's
year.
in a contract
Either
year.
way,
Like,
He's
are you
loving.
why? Do you want out for somebody else? I want out for a player to be named later.
That's
But we
right.
don't
Yeah.
know right now. There's some potential people.
Right. So I mean, and you know that there would start to be.
I've been recruiting at a lot of colleges lately. I just want to see what's
terrible.
going on.
That's horrible.
But the idea is that there's like brokers who come
Yes.
through. It's like I can get you into a newer model.
What if you did meet with a mediator? Say like, what do you want out of the next 10 years? I want more vacations. I want a new house. I want more communication with each other. Like,
Yeah. So what if he went? What if this guy went to a fortune teller and was going to a fortune teller, and the for $3,000, the fortune teller said, "Your marriage is going to end.
right.
This person is not the right person for you. I'm just getting, and that's it." And he believed the fortune teller. That's essentially what he just did.
Yeah.
much.
Guys, I can tell you so many times
They're not married.
before they even get to the first house in an episode of House Hunters, whether or not these
it's
people
over.
are getting divorced.
It's over.
I can tell in the like, well, he never listens to me, and this is why I don't like the houses he likes. You're like, why are you even on this show?
Right. Well, she doesn't cook. Well, who cares? You
Right.
cook.
Right. Well, this is where I'll send him when I don't want to look at his face anymore. I'm like, why are you guys
wow.
He just got a
married?
lot of
Jesus.
information.
House Hunters tells you a lot about people. Okay.
It does.
So the most
parents,
commenters,
yeah.
they said you're bad too. Most commenters
On Reddit.
sided with the man,
Of course.
Yeah.
with the top commenter asking how $3,000 is considered cheap. I agree. It's still
This
It's
is
not cheap.
It's not cheap. It's a lot of money.
Other people
It's
say
it's a lot of money that this, like, De Beers has just decided, hey, we have all these things and you're going to spend this much money on them. Like, it's a lot of money for a thing that you can barely see. It's just a token of your love, and I think $3,000 is pretty
know
good.
what I
No
love
matter
in
what
this?
amount of
Look,
no matter what amount of money you make, who cares?
He went to Jared, just not the jeweler. He went to the guy from Subway. Which
That was
was
the
a
wrong
mistake.
call,
That was
don't
a
go to that
mistake.
guy for anything.
No.
Don't let him come to you for anything either. But like, see, something I love, my Uncle Mike and my Aunt Mary Lou. Aunt Mary Lou has a wedding ring that is like a speck of a diamond, right? That's the wedding they got. They got married. Their reception was at a VFW. They had ham sandwiches and 2 kegs of beer.
Sounds so
You've
good.
been there.
25 years later, on their
still has that
anniversary,
ring.
no, he got her another ring for her other hand.
Beautiful.
I'm going to just tell you enough to say it is a sizable difference between
Okay.
those two. And it, to me, is beautiful, which is see both of her hands and the journey of this is where they were, this is where they are, and they still have so much more to go.
Look
And
at where I made it to.
Yeah, don't start out. You're not there yet. Like, what,
Yeah.
like
Nor
you-
will they ever be there.
No, they'll
of
never.
course.
They'll
Right,
never
of
be
course.
there.
Corey's right.
This is a person wrote on the Reddit thread, as a proud wearer of a $400 engagement ring, I cannot fathom wasting thousands on a piece of jewelry. Men's wedding rings traditionally are like I have friends who spent $70. I have friends who have like the little rubber ones.
tell you,
I have friends that
mine's
like
rubber.
literally and I have
Yours is
friends who
rubber.
they just
Ammo.
Whenever they lose it, they just order another one.
My
Like
finger
50
broke.
bucks.
I should have got a rubber one because my finger broke playing
way better.
basketball, and then I luckily quickly took it off
Before the swelling
came, and I can't get it back on again, so I have to get it resized. But mine was about $700, but I've had it for 16 years, and I love it.
Okay, yeah, you got your
So
own.
I love
I
it.
lost mine, and it was about $500, something like that. But I lost mine, and then wound up getting one for $90 that I love. I just love it.
Yeah, my original one was $100. On my honeymoon, I got out of the ocean and realized that it wasn't on my hand, and I was like, "Well, crap."
I'm not married anymore.
Right? Hey, I did it. About
Ladies.
2 hours later, I went back out into the ocean and was in the same place, and just reached down and picked up my wedding ring out of the ocean. But then I've since lost it.
Of course.
But it was $100, and now, I keep these rubber ones. You don't even know they're there. This cost, I don't know, $3.
'Cause it's
I
the
traded
symbol.
a hobo for some socks. I don't know.
Perfect. I hope
What
you
is
got good
that?
socks.
What is a rubber ring on your finger? Just tells other people that want to flirt with you you're a bad person because you know what's up. You're a home wrecker.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Someone else said a ring is a ring. Mine was about $500.
Yeah, it's
I was so happy with my ring. It's perfect. To be honest, if my husband spent any more, I would have been so annoyed at him. Another commenter even pointed out that the 10% rule was a marketing ploy invented by the diamond industry, which is true according to The Knot, which I think is also a site that propagates things.
Sure.
The wedding website wrote that the Diamond Cartel De Beers, he called it, folks.
That's right.
Yeah,
he
buddy.
called it. Corey
Created a marketing campaign in the 1930s that convinced men that if they really loved their significant others, they would spend at least a month of their salary on an engagement ring. By the 1980s, that amount increased to 2 months' salary, and today it is 3 months' salary.
Dude, that is the most irresponsible shit I've ever heard.
Totally.
Who in their right mind? Dude, why? Okay, let's say you got 3 months. Why wouldn't you want 1 month's salary on the ring? And for 2 months' salary, we can literally go live in Barcelona for
Or
a week.
we'll just buy Peloton stock. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, or
Yes.
Tesla
stock, whatever. We'll invest in Elon Musk and Grimes' goddamn baby.
That's the craziest shit I've ever. They were also behind Valentine's Day, by the
Dude,
way.
Yo,
same
for
thing.
sure. Yeah.
Same thing.
beers.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, that's story number one.
Wow,
it was
that's
a ride.
crazy.
It was a ride.
Lady, if this guy's out there listening, run. You can find someone who will appreciate it, and you did the right thing and way to take care of your family. All right, Corey Forrester is with us. We're going to talk to him a little bit on the other side of this break, and very excited. Want to thank everyone who came to the live Dumb People Town, which just happened this past weekend.
Agreed.
And we announced to our guests are coming up for next month.
We'll tell you on the other side of this break
If you
if for
missed
some
it.
reason you weren't there.
It's Dumb People Town with Corey Forrester. We'll be right back.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
All right, guys. After you spend a few Valentine's days together, you start to fall into the same habits.
know.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You get the same. Okay, she likes this.
You order the same
flowers.
thing from Cheesecake Factory.
12
you
tulips.
eat too much of the brown bread.
That's right. That's right.
Is that what you get, Dan, at Cheesecake Factory?
of
Well,
course.
let this be the year that you give something truly unique. And I love these guys are sponsoring us. UncommonGoods.com.
We shop with them, my wife and I, all the time.
Uncommon Goods has you covered for Valentine's Day right around the corner with out of the ordinary gifts that they will love and they will use and they will enjoy. All right. If you're feeling uninspired, I don't know. We're sometimes we're in this spot where we're like, I don't know what to get. I don't know what's good. Check out Uncommon Goods for the most unique gifts you can find online, no matter who your partner is, what your partner's into. Uncommon Goods has the perfect gift for them, from art and jewelry, kitchen, home, bar. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone. Not the same lackluster gifts you just find everywhere else. Am I right,
When you
Daniel?
shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses.
Yeah. And Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality and unique. I know this because I've actually gotten them for my daughter. She loved them so much. And often handmade or made in the United States. They have really a meaningful...
Super meaningful stuff
Yeah,
on the
out of the
site.
ordinary gifts that you just can't find everywhere. And I just love them.
And with every purchase that you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. That's awesome. They've donated more than $2 million to date.
So what do we do, Jay?
Thoughtful Valentine's Day gifts. To get 15% off your Valentine's Day gift, go to uncommongoods.com/DPT.
That's uncommongoods.com/DPT for 15% off.
Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, cool, unique, and unusual amazing gifts.
Last year was pretty stressful for all of us. What if this year you had something to help you beat less stress and handle the ups and downs that life throws at you? Guys, that's Headspace.
Yep. Headspace is your daily dose of mindfulness in the form of guided meditations in an easy-to-use app.
And
guys.
Jay, it's one of the only meditation apps advancing the field of mindfulness and meditation through clinically validated research. So whatever the situation, Headspace really can help you feel better.
And we need that right now.
Yeah, it's so true. If you're feeling overwhelmed, Headspace has a 3-minute SOS meditation for you.
3 minutes. Need help falling asleep? I needed it last night. Headspace was there for me. They have a wind down session, many wind down sessions. They're members and we are members as well. We swear by them as parents. Look, I know it's hard to put your kids to sleep. That can be difficult. There's morning meditations too to help your kids get into the headspace of Zooming at school right now. We need this thing.
So my daughter had a very stressful day and a very stressful thing at school as it started back up. And we used one of the Headspace mindful meditations to just calm her down. And I'm telling you, she came out of it.
They're quick. They're easy. Your kids can follow along. And it
Yep.
also gets them started on a path of being able to soothe themselves in tough situations.
They're backed by 25 published studies on its benefits, 600,000 5-star reviews, and over 60 million downloads. That can't be wrong.
So true. They make it easy for you to build a life-changing meditation practice with mindfulness that works for you on your schedule, anytime, anywhere.
Here's the deal. We feel like you deserve to feel happier, and Headspace is meditation made simple. Trust us because we've used it and we love it. If you go to headspace.com/DPT.
That's headspace.com/DPT for a free 1-month trial with access to Headspace's full library of meditations for every situation. Once you do it for a month, you're going to be hooked.
Just
try
it's
it.
the best deal offered right now. So head to headspace.com/DPT today.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Super exciting news on February 27th. It's a Saturday night.
Nowhere Comedy Club, 6:30 West Coast time, 9:30 Eastern. Jack Black, JB. Love Jack Black. He does not do many podcasts at all.
No.
We're so excited he's going to riff with us on Dumb People Town. And our musical guest is Open Mike Eagle, who just released an unbelievable album last year. I'm so excited. I told my friend Eva, who's a friend of the show, we got Jack Black and Open Mike Eagle. And she's like, oh my God, how'd you get Open Mike Eagle? I was like, well,
Also amazing.
incredible, but that's going to be, so go to Eventbrite.com, look up Live Dumb People Town. Corey Forrester, as he mentioned, he wrote a book. So tell people the book and how I know you have a new podcast yourself. You're part of the Well Read podcast, which is
we love
on the Scarborough Country Network that we love so much. And so just tell people how they can find you and the stuff you got out there.
You can find me at CoreyRyanForrester.com. I got a new podcast called Through the Screen Door. It's a pop culture podcast with a Southern twist, sort of like a variety show. And yeah, we got the Well Read podcast. It's on the Scarborough Network, wellreadcomedy.com. And, or just Google me. You'll see stuff. And,
you will see stuff.
You'll see stuff.
definitely
Wrote a
see
book
stuff.
about 4 years ago. It's called The Liberal Redneck Manifesto, Dragging Dixie Out of the Dark. We wrote it right before the presidential election. And we in the book, we gave some predictions that I hate to say came true. So good stuff.
I love it because Jay and I, we grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, a very much on the board. It's Dred Scott country, which was the court case which
that told people that you could go back up north and bring your slaves back. It was a horrible thing to be known for.
St. Louis was known for.
So Rand and I grew up in St. Louis, and we did a bit in our last stand-up special.
Yeah, we did a bit in our last stand-up special about how I was at a party and I basically chomped on a date because I was a dummy and didn't realize that dates have giant pits in them, and I cracked my tooth down to the root and I lost my tooth. And then that same week, my wife was driving our Prius and knocked the mirror off the right side, and I had to get it fixed. And I went to go rent a car, and the only car that they had was a Mustang convertible. So I was driving a Mustang convertible. By the way, I saw a fully electric Mustang, an ad for a fully electric Mustang last night. And I'm like, God damn, I want that so badly. Mustang convertible, no tooth. I was drinking coffee. I didn't realize how, I'm driving a Prius. I didn't realize how powerful this car would be. I lightly stepped on the gas and we just went 3 blocks forward, coffee all over my shirt. It was hot. It was uncomfortable. I took my shirt off. So now I'm a shirtless,
toothless dude in a Mustang convertible. And I was like, well, I guess just as a comedian, I got to lean into it and just become the most liberal redneck ever. So we did this whole bit about what it would be like a liberal redneck. And it's so in the like wheelhouse of,
liberal hillbilly, left-wing redneck.
left-wing redneck, liberal hillbilly. And it just, to me, it's like,
We did it if you've ever.
we did the Fox really if you've ever.
If you can imagine, I got tagged in that a lot on y'all's Twitter page. People were like, dude, you got to check this out.
I know. And it just, once we realized that, oh my God, there are actually real people down there who are doing this. All of you guys became our favorites just because of that. So I want everyone to check it out. Check out the book. Check out the podcast.
Well Read podcast is amazing, and the new Variety podcast sounds incredible.
From the screen door, it's a great
Through the screen door,
which is just such a thing. Everything's through the screen door down south.
Yeah,
right?
it's a fun podcast. I open up with an opening monologue like Johnny Carson style, and then we do some desk bits. And basically, it was during the pandemic. I had like 5 TV shows that I was in some sort of development in, working on, and all of them just got shut down because of COVID.
The biz, yeah.
And for sure. And not that they wouldn't have got shut down anyways. I'm actually kind of fortunate that I'm able to be like, if it wasn't for COVID, So basically, I was sitting there, and at one point, I was like, "Well, this pandemic's not getting over. So just do the show that you want to do it, and you don't have to have anybody tell you yes or no." So I got a producer, and here we go. We have a show now. So it's fun stuff.
I love that so much. I just want to say there was one episode of Well Read where you guys were discussing how
men control the air conditioning.
How men control the air conditioning in corporate offices, and how it is super oppressive to women. And you guys getting into the specifics of that was making me laugh so hard. It was everything. It was the side you guys were coming down on. It were the observations that you guys were making. I just loved it.
That was the perfect example of something that sounds like a parody of wokeness, but when you actually start learning about it, you go, oh, never. Because I remember when Trey brought it up, I was just like, dude, get the fuck out of here, man. Okay, listen, I know it's a white man's world, but goddamn, really, the air conditioner? And then you start breaking it down, you're like, huh. Mm-hmm. Well, we did that too, huh? Well, so like it's just one of those where like no matter how ridiculous something sounds, if white men are being accused of doing something, believe it. Probably we probably did that.
Where there's smoke, there's white fire. That's a thing. Well, let's jump into another story. Shall we do that?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, here we go. This was sent in by Chris. I'm gonna go Cucinotta. Cusinata? I'm going to go Cusinata.
Cusinata.
At Hoagie Face. That's way easier.
The Hoagie Face is way easier. Okay. There you go.
A boy and his younger cousin returned home safely on Monday after they hopped in his parents' SUV and set off on a road trip that took them from their home all the way to Delaware.
Jesus, maybe they want to see Joe
Biden. This has happened a bunch in the pandemic.
I know.
Now, Corey, how old do you have to be? In Georgia, if you're driving a tractor, you can probably get a license when you're 12, right?
You can get a hardship license, I think, at 13 or 14.
Yeah, it's 14
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
It might be 14. I remember that, when we were kids, like there was some people who got theirs at 14, and it was because, they drove a tractor, they drove a truck on the farm. And also, like, I don't know if this was actually, oh my God, I'm saying this out loud now, and I just realized that adults had been lying to me my whole life. I think there was they said there was a special license you could get that if you drove a truck, you didn't have to wear your seatbelt. But now I think literally this is the first time I've ever said it out loud. And that was totally just Stanley answering me when I said, hey, Mr. Matthews, why aren't you wearing your seatbelt? Oh, you don't have to if you, okay, never mind. But yeah, there's a lot of different rules where I'm from.
Oh my God!
It's a truck license.
So, but everywhere else, it's really interesting because I have a daughter who's about to be 16, and she hasn't been like, "Come on, Dad, take me out and show me how to drive." I've taken her out like once or twice, but like she hasn't been like, "Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it." When we were 16. We were like, we were 15. We're like to our friends who are a little older who had cars. Let's go to the bank. Let's drive around in the afternoon. No one's around. Let's drive in the parking lot. And we were ready. And we made our parents take us to the DMV
before school,
really?
Morning of our birthday, just so we could roll up in school in our car. And that was
what was the car?
The car was a Pontiac 6000 LE, but with an STE dashboard. They fucked up and gave us an STE dashboard, which is way better and way cooler. Tape deck, all the stuff they had in there.
And then it became a Nissan Altima. A black Nissan Altima.
That's right. We didn't have a lot of money, but reliable car. It worked. But
Corey, what was your first car?
My first car was a 2002 Toyota Tacoma black. It was beautiful. I got a DUI in it after 2 weeks.
Yep.
It was. I was a bad child. I was just. I was very curious, and so 2 weeks. I rolled it over in a friend's yard. He had this big yard. I did like 3.5 donuts. I got out of the DUI because it was on private property, and I lied. Because they didn't give me the
I have a
breathalyzer,
special drinking license.
Yes, my uncle Stan.
That's what I told him. No, I got the one. It's fine. You can drink. But I ended up telling the judge that they didn't give me the breathalyzer till 4 hours later. So obviously I told him, I was like, I was sober when I wrecked. I was so distraught that I drank. And then the cops came and they couldn't do anything about it. So then, of course, I had to just drive my papa's old 89 GMC Sierra.
Okay.
That's a great car.
It is a great car, and it was automatic, but the power steering leaked. So basically, my first driving experience was like,
moving a cement wheel.
You're like steering an old ship.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yep. And then that. Go ahead. And then that car broke down, and again, because my parents were definitely not going to buy me a vehicle because I just got drunk and wrecked them.
Why you shouldn't have one.
Yeah. I drove my mom's baby blue Volkswagen Beetle, and that was a stud machine.
That is an amazing car. So that's what my 15-year-old wants. She wants an old school Beetle. I'm like, well, there's no way we're gonna get that, but I love what you're thinking. I love it. Yeah. Dan, you had the Chevelle.
Yeah, I learned to drive on a 96 Ford Explorer that I rolled and totaled. And then I would drive my grandma's like 1991 Buick LeSabre.
Oh, yeah.
But then my first car was a 72 Chevelle.
Our dad was like our age, the way we are right now. And here are the cars he had. A Buick Century, an Oldsmobile 98.
A great car.
I was like, what are you, 80? Jesus Christ, Dad. I mean, he was like 48.
Yeah. Dude, that LeSabre, Rosemary Van Kirk's LeSabre was like driving 2 couches. That's what you were floating on the road.
You didn't even feel the road.
Yeah.
But my Chevelle, which I had to say, I didn't get a car till I was 18 because I bought it myself, but in Appleton, Wisconsin. Hey. But my Chevelle was driving. I mean, that's the dream. It was a 4-door 350, and
Dan, you want to get that car again at 100%. Some point.
So Dan 100%. Has in his house a pinball machine that he bought when he was a younger adult and then had to sell for money and stayed in touch with the people or you mentioned it or something. They stayed in touch with you.
Yeah.
And then when Dan made enough money that he could buy it back, the people were so nice. They
sold it to
him. So I'm going to say this. I bet out of all the people who listen to our podcast, somebody somewhere is going to find you that car.
4-door Chevelle, 350.
You're going to get it.
Malibu?
That's all I'm going to say.
I'll take it. 72?
All right. So what did these goddamn kids do?
All right. So the boy sat behind the wheel of his family's white Range Rover and drove.
Range Rover.
How many miles do you think this kid drove?
With his little brother in the car?
No, cousin.
Do we know how old they are?
Would you like to guess how old? How old do you think?
So do I need to guess how old and how many miles?
Sure.
Do that.
Okay. I'm going to say 9 years old.
Okay.
And 100 miles.
And how old was the kid, the other cousin, the little cousin?
Oh, and it was his younger cousin, right? 6. 9, 6, 100.
Okay.
I remember the ages on this story, so I'm not.
You guys have done this?
Yeah, I've done it. But
go ahead. Bitches.
I don't remember.
So then go, Jay. Go.
I'm going to say 11 and 4.
Okay. And how far? 200 miles.
Okay. One of you got one of the parts
exactly right.
Okay.
The boy, 12 years old.
Okay, Jay. There you go.
I was 11. I said 11.
The mileage, 100 miles.
Oh,
dude,
Corey.
This is
cousin,
insane.
7 years old.
Okay, I got the cousin right. Nice. All right. 12, 7, 100 miles.
Yes.
That's pretty nuts.
100 miles is a long way, man.
And also a Range Rover, like that's, you know,
high.
bigger.
Maybe he's a big 12-year-old.
He's a big boy.
Also, my son's 12.
When
He
you're
could
12,
look
it's
over.
called husky.
Rand, my son is 12 and he's as tall as my wife. He could do it. He could drive in a car.
A Range Rover.
The boy sat behind the wheel of the family's Range Rover and drove more than 5 hours from Queens to the border of Delaware and New Jersey with his 7-year-old cousin riding shotgun.
From Queens.
Have you driven in Queens? Jane, I've
Yes.
driven
No, I
in
was about to
Queens.
say that's even more impressive.
Scary. How did you get across?
There's no way this is the first time this kid drove.
Wait, so this kid had to drive through the city or
Yeah,
north of
to
the
get
city
out
to
of it.
then get to
Or
Jersey
at
to go
least
across.
over the Verrazano Bridge or something, or the Whitestone Bridge.
The children's joyride ended after the boy tried to buy cookies at the Delaware border with his father's credit card. They had a plan.
Dude, I'm gonna get
Jesus.
some.
Look, I'm sick of this fucking house. I'm sick of fucking COVID.
He's like,
what
look,
do you want to do today, cousin?
I want to go out.
I want to drive 100 miles away from this place and I
Mm-hmm.
want to get cookies.
This is his.
We don't have any money. We got plastic.
This is his Ray Liotta. Like, this is his May 11th, 1986 or whatever it was. Where he's like, okay, we're going to get the Range Rover. Then we got to go to Delaware. We got to
Keep
get the
stirring the
cookies.
sauce.
Then we
Then
got
you
to
gotta
call.
get-
Yeah, we got to call our
Put
other
the
cousin.
fucking hat on when you're traveling.
You know what you did, Karen?
That's tremendous that they are they steal a car, they're driving it. They're such adults,
Right.
And
Yeah.
cookies take them down.
For sure.
By the way, for a 12-year-old to get a 7-year-old to do anything for more than
So
an
my
hour.
my kids are 12 and 7. Those are the ages of my kids.
So imagine Liev taking Noah and just driving her
5-hour
up
road
to
trip.
Sacramento.
So I guarantee you, 8 minutes in, Noah, my daughter would be like,
Let me drive.
no, she would start kicking the seat. She'd be behind him and kicking the seat.
Sure.
And then he'd be like, stop, you're such an idiot. And she'd be like, you're an idiot. And then he'd be like, he'd make a face at her. And she's like, you're making a face. You're making a face. Then she would kick him in the head super hard from behind. They'd roll the car and they'd
So
both
you're
be
saying
dead.
your biggest takeaway is how well these two get along?
They got along
for 5
100
hours.
miles.
5 hours in a
Now
car.
I know it's his cousin. I know it's not a brother.
But still, kids.
Kids.
Also, they didn't wreck or anything.
No.
Like,
Oh,
everything-
man.
No.
and they
So-
observe traffic
When they
laws.
tried to buy the cookies, that triggered an alert on the father's credit card and allowed police to move in. Police in both New York and New Jersey had spent the day trying to track down the errant pair, and though cops followed them with sirens, the boy sped up and would not pull over. I hope his arm is out saying, "Go around,
Yeah. Go around.
just go."
This is the next.
That's how you know they're kids. They don't know to pull over for cops.
Dude, this
Right.
is
They think
baby.
they're in a parade.
This is baby driver, literally.
It is. At that point, officers laid off so to prevent an accident. Authorities were able to track the cousins using the Easy
I love that
Pass.
officers laid off so that they didn't get in an accident. Meanwhile, you're just going to let this kid run roughshod so that other people get
I mean,
in.
after a couple hours, you're like, he's doing fine. The
Yeah,
only
he
thing we
knows
could
what
do
he's
is
doing.
screw this up.
Yeah, let's just wait till he stops.
This
they
is like
noted-
the new Smokey and the Bandit.
They noted that they left around 9 a.m. and drove from the Belt Parkway onto the Verrazano Bridge
Jesus
and into
Christ.
Staten Island before making it to New Jersey, according to the Daily News.
This is not an easy
I'm not,
drive.
that's- No, I was about to say I lived in New York for a bit, but I'm not even trying to be funny. This shit is amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I
Impressed.
would have to take extra CBD before I made this drive,
For
and I've been
sure.
driving
100%.
Dude,
my
the
whole
Verrazano
life.
Bridge is, if you remember Saturday Night Fever, that's where, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, that's where the guy falls off the bridge. It is super high up.
It's
Nightmare.
narrow.
It's narrow. It's scary
That's
as
what I'm
shit.
saying.
It's long.
There is an uncle or aunt in this family that has this kid drive them around.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
There
That's
is
it, Dan.
No,
Well, when we were kids, our grandfather would let us sit on his lap because basically you could just, I mean, there was like a middle seat,
Sure, yeah.
but he would let us sit on the lap and work the steering wheel.
Here's also how I know on Range Rovers. I know because I have one. You have to push a button and push a key in and have your foot on the brake
Yes.
to even start the car.
Right.
That has to be taught. There's no way this
Yeah.
12-year-old just learned how to start this vehicle.
YouTube, man. YouTube.
I can't
Yeah,
remember
that's
who it
true.
was. I think we had him on here, but they were talking about how they were teaching their daughter to drive, and it was way harder for their daughter. This is what they felt, and it made sense to me. They're like, it's way harder for her to learn to drive than it was for me, because when I grew up, all you could do in the car was sit there and watch your parents drive.
That's right.
Now, these kids have spent their whole life looking at a screen. They've never paid
That's a
any
good point.
attention to how I'm driving this
Dan,
car.
also, it's like
Kids don't want to learn how to drive
And
now.
when Randy and I were kids in St. Louis, not in New York, it's different, but in St. Louis, not one person we knew ever drove a cab or rode in a cab. Never.
No, me neither.
Not once did
One time I rode in a limo. It was a crazy big
limo
deal.
once, cab never. Only person who ran in a cab were like the woman who was divorced who lived by the airport. That's it. That's the only person who ever rode in a cab anywhere, and she used it to go to the liquor store to get her alcohol and come back. We didn't do anything, Dan. I promise you, we never did.
This is amazing. And
now everyone has an Uber.
But like your
ride.
parents, Corey, if you have kids and you're like, where's the Range Rover? Where are our kids? Like, how come this didn't like 30 minutes or 15 minutes in?
Yeah, we're in a pandemic, man. I know where my kids are at every second.
It's a busy city, my friend.
I guess.
And
So.
how about the aunt and uncle that left the cousin with these people?
Right.
Yeah,
She's
right.
gonna be fine. Are you guys gonna watch him?
Yeah, we got her.
We'll get them cookies. The children were taken into custody in good condition around 2:15 p.m.
Not
A spokesman
great.
for the New York City Police.
I was about to say.
How are they doing? They're good. Are they fine? They're good.
They're good.
They're good.
Shut up and listen to me.
Are
They're
they
good.
fine?
They're
good.
No, any scratches on them? It's good.
They're good.
That's good.
They reportedly arrived home just after 6 p.m. Quote, this is from Joe Gangaram, the boy's uncle, according to outlets.
Oh, God.
The kids are okay. They're okay. Everybody's fine. That's somebody who does not want to talk about this.
That's an uncle in Queens. They're fine. Okay, they're fine.
Everybody's
You just
fine.
do this
Shut
all
up.
right.
Everybody's
Okay.
fine.
You shut
All
your
right.
It's okay.
fucking mouth about
Everything's
this.
good. You keep talking about this. Everybody's good. Everybody's fine.
WCBS reported that the 7-year-old told police that she had, quote, a good time with one caveat. Quote, she said, I wish I was driving. Well,
That's-
this is what's happened now.
that's
They
my
learn from
daughter.
their older cousins.
What did
That's
I
my
say?
daughter.
I wish
She would have
I
said
was
that.
driving. I wish I was driving is not what you want to hear your 7-year-old say after they go 100 miles from home.
Right.
No, you want them to be terrified so they'll never do it again.
I'll never
But these-
do it
Mommy,
again.
Daddy, I'm
Mommy,
never
yeah.
doing this again.
Mommy,
The outlet
Daddy,
Yeah, we're
report-
about to see some repeat offenders. I promise.
Yes.
Yep. The outlet reported the children were released to their families and no charges will be filed. When reached by People magazine, the New Jersey State Police directed questions to the Delaware River Port Authority Police, which did not immediately respond.
Well,
to
I'm sorry.
requests
Can you
for
guys hear
comment.
that? That's the sound of passing the buck.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, hey, don't talk to us, man.
Hey.
Talk to
We don't know.
Delaware.
Hey, those kids are fine. They're fine. They had a good time. Maybe he should have let her
They're
drive. That's not
fine.
our problem.
Shut up. They're fine.
Shut your
You
stupid
idiot.
investigation.
That's story 2.
Are they trying
love
to
it.
tell us that the parents aren't going to press charges against the kid? Was
Yeah.
that the point there? That's-
Or the uncle presses charges against the parents for negligence.
Right.
That would be the only thing. But it's like, you guys got to keep it in family. That's crazy.
All right, Dan, give us a tease on story 3.
A guy has an argument with his wife and goes to extremes about it.
All right, we'll do that. And for those of you who follow us on Patreon, we're going to have a deep interview with Corey and hear about what happened with the rant, what was the aftermath, where he's at with it now. I'm telling you guys, for those who support us on Patreon, we cannot thank you enough. For those who want to get in on really cool, extra exclusive stuff, this is a great
That's how you
time
do
to
it.
jump in.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll see you right after this.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
Guys, around this time of year, you hear a lot. The new year, new me. Is that a phrase we hear a lot?
Yes.
All the time. We're all picking up better habits or trying new things.
Well, I've been doing my walks and I've been extending them. Now I go for an hour and a half is my walk.
And you've actually
Really?
added some new things like, hey, I'm going to run up and down this hill 5 times. Well, if you're doing it, you're going to want to listen to podcasts.
Yep.
You're going to want to listen to music. You
hour
want to
and a
talk
half's
on
a
the phone.
long time just to be out there. It's saving my life. to
And I'll
have
say this, my Raycon earbuds are the things that save me because I can have full conversations. It's like, I'm only listening to that. The sound is canceled out everywhere else.
Yep.
It's great sound, and I feel like I'm
No
right
matter
in the
what you're
action.
doing, like if you have amazing audio, it'll make the experience even better. That's why we recommend wireless earbuds from Raycon.
Our friends.
Yeah, whether you're binging an audiobook, you can check out our audiobook on Audible.
I
man.
love
That's
that
right. I
guy's
love that thing.
audiobook.
Scholars and
and
Stripes.
Stripes.
Or if you're doing that while you're learning to knit, if you're listening to directions while trying out a new recipe or powering through a new workout with a pumped up playlist in your ear that's going to get you through it, a pair of Raycons can make any activity easier. I can attest to it from my own workouts.
And it's a better time.
It is.
Raycon makes great sound accessible to everyone. Their wireless earbuds start at half the price of all other premium audio brands. It's amazing.
And guess what else? They have a comfortable in-ear fit for a more discreet look and come in a range of stylish colors, so you don't have to worry about having white stems dangling from your ears or always wondering, is this going to be a comfortable in-ear fit for me? And are they going to look discreet or am I walk around like I have a little costume?
That's right. And they don't just look great with up to 6 hours of playtime. That's super important. Water and sweat resistant construction and Bluetooth that pairs quickly and seamlessly. And you can pull one out of your ear and it doesn't stop whatever you're listening to. Raycon Raycon performs wherever, whenever you take them with you.
So here's the good news. Raycon is offering 15% off all their products for our listeners. And here's what you've got to do to get it.
Go to buyraycon.com/DPT. That's it. You'll get 15% off your entire Raycon order.
That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/DPT.
buyraycon.com/DPT.
Welcome to McDonald's. What can I get you today?
Hi, she'll have the quarter pounder with cheese, extra mustard.
No pickles.
And I'll have a 10-piece chicken McNuggets.
And 2 sides of ranch, please.
The we've done this before meal. Get it at McDonald's when you get 2 of your faves for just $5.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price.
All right, Dan, let's get in some names of some people on the page.
I love when we say hi to people and screw up their name or give them the nickname they didn't know they needed.
We got names.
Michael Perez.
You did a great job. I think it's Mikhail. Is it Mikhail?
Michael Perez.
You know what I was going to say?
Michael Perez.
If I could have one candy for the rest of my life,
What?
cherry flavored Perez, no doubt about it.
That's
You know, from
I have
Stand
a-
By Me, it's supposed to be Pez.
I have a Perez dispenser. Yeah.
Yes.
He's a townie. Thanks, Michael.
Edward Helmer. Edward Helmer.
Ed Helms.
Who's
Ed Helmer?
Edward Helmers.
Ed Helmer. True
Helmer.
local, this guy.
Edward Helmer, I guarantee, has been to my cabin.
Yes.
Now, not when I was there.
No,
just
he
Edward
looked in
Helmer.
the windows.
He was an assessor. He was checking to see if the hill was the right thing.
Molly Bell.
Molly Bell, ringing
Molly
that bell.
Bell. Doesn't Molly Bell sound like a punk band in New York in
Molly Bell.
1979?
I saw Molly Bell play for 7 hours straight, and the woman stuck a sword in her throat.
Jane Hall.
Jane Hall.
Jane Hall sounds like that's the that's where all the sluts live in college.
No, no.
It's like, yeah, she's over in Jane Hall,
Jane-
dude.
They're
Dude.
easy over there.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like two different anchors for Saturday Night Live news.
You
Jane
go.
Curtin and Brad Hall.
There you go. Jeremy Sudduth. Do you go Sudduth or Suduth? Suduth. If it's Suduth.
Dude. If
Dude,
it's
those
Suduth.
puzzles are hard to figure out.
I'm a
He's a
Suduth,
townie.
I'm a Suduth fan.
Will. This would be a hard one for Harry Carey. Lichty.
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 You going
I think
Lichty?
Will Lichty, yeah.
Lil
Lichty.
Lichty.
This guy's a pillar of the community.
Appreciate you. So is Jane Hall.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. man. Thanks,
Cammy
Jane.
Wheeler.
Cammy Wheeler.
You want Cammy Wheeler at your party?
Is it Cammy Wheeler or just
Yes.
Cam? All right, Cammy. If it was just Cam Wheeler, that could be a hockey player for the University.
Cam
of Michigan.
Wheeler is, two
But
totally different people,
Cam-
both a good time.
Cam Wheeler, little Cammy Wheeler. Is little Cammy Wheeler coming with you?
Yep.
You better take little Cammy Wheeler with you.
She's a townie.
Ooh, and playing out of University of Miami, Ohio, Aaron Gorham.
Aaron Gorham, 6'10".
And then we also want to say hello and thank you to Jeff Wolf.
Jeff Wolf sounds like everyone we went to camp with. I love you,
Kim
brother.
Huggett. You know she's a realtor.
Hug it.
Huggett
it up.
Realty.
And you know what she'd say to the people that she sells houses to after she closes the deal? Let's hug it out.
Hug it out.
Let's
Yes.
hug it out.
Brian Langford.
Langford.
Just got
Townie,
recruited. He just got recruited by Michigan State
Knows
University.
how to cook a steak. Then
right.
somebody, just John.
John. Thanks, buddy.
John.
Come on. I have to go to the bathroom.
Here's somebody that we love. We've known this person for a long time. They've come to many a live show. I'm
Pillar of
almost
the community.
certain that she came to the All Things Comedy Festival live show that we did. If I had to guess, I think I'm right. Holly Chapman. Holly, miss you. Aaron R. Miller.
Oh, Aaron R. Miller.
You better be an author.
That's right.
Tim Ellenbaum.
Ellenbaum. The Ellenbaum is like...
Ellenbaum, wasn't that the site everybody would
That's
go to?
my favorite thing to put into a bath. I just drop some Ellenbaum in there and it feels great.
Hi, you've met Tim and Ellen. Nope, one person. Jen Wallace.
That's like when people don't know that Patton Oswalt is just one person. You know Patton Oswalt? Is that a
Pat
comedy
and
team?
Oswald. Yes.
Right.
All right. So
Jen Wallace, our friend Linda Wallace, is one of our favorite people in
she
the world in
says,
St. Louis.
Linda Wallace says my daughter's name's so funny that all of our kids make fun of it. How's Jarja doing?
Jarja.
I want Jen to be like, Jen Wallace to be like, how's Jarja?
Did you guys make up Highway 34? Is
No,
that a
we
real
did.
St.
Farty
Louis thing?
Far.
Okay,
Farty Far.
every time I
Yeah.
did a Farty Far when I do my scratchers, it always makes me think of you guys.
Highway Farty Far.
Okay, Marshall. We said Jen Wallace, right? We said hello to. Okay, good. Marshall O'Hearn.
Marshall O'Hearn.
Marshall O'Hearn.
That guy will sell you a couch.
He's a left-handed golfer if I've ever heard of him.
How about this one? Larry Dupreez the third.
Stop. This guy, if he's
Larry
not...
Dupreez the third
Dude.
was so good at Highlight.
Larry Dupreez the third is a point guard who wore too much Jerry curl, and he also was for a few weeks was the band leader of the New Orleans Preservation Band Society.
Larry Dupreez III is 47 and can still dunk.
Larry Dupreez the third was eliminated and actually banned from high school 5A football because he had too much stick on
Larry
his hands.
Dupreez the third never lost a game of Clue. All right. Who's next here?
Eric McCoy, the real McCoy.
I hope that they're old enough to know how important that song was in the 90s.
Larry Dupree's the third is a true local, by the way.
Another pillar of the community.
Jay.
Is that you?
No.
Jay! It's a freaking wheel, Jay!
Just look at it, Jay.
Look at it, Jay. It's a wheel, Jay, baby.
Pillar of the community.
Fucking wheel, Jay.
Kelsey Schultes. I
Thank
think Kelsey
you.
sent us in stories before.
Yes.
And then a couple more here. We'll say hello to John Ketterling.
True local, Kettering.
Ketterling's Kettle Popcorn is your
Ketterling-
number one gift choice.
Well,
I
for
studied-
all.
It's sweet. It's salty.
I studied at the Ketterling Institute.
The Kettering Institute has done some great work.
How about this one? They're their own law firm. Blake Buchanan Monroe.
Yes.
Listen, they got me out of a lot of trouble.
But it's spelled Monroe.
Munro.
MUNRO. The way it sounds.
One more. Ken Humphrey.
Ken Humphrey. The Jerry Mumphrey of Townie people. True local,
Oh,
dude.
the Humphrey dance.
True local. Yeah, the Humphrey
Humphrey
dance is your chance to do the hump.
It's Ken Humphrey. Okay. All right. I mean, if there's podcasts having this much fun saying thank you to people for being Patreons, I haven't met it.
Show it to us.
All right, let's get back to the show. All right, Daniel, take us home, brother.
I'm going to. Before we go, I want to remind everybody, you want to play bingo with me, do it. Go to danielvankirk.com plus live pen pals and obviously the next Dumb People Town. Bingo's fun because people
So
tell
fun.
secrets. Did you know that? People tell secrets.
Bingo.
When they get bingo, they have to tell a secret in order to use the free
Dude,
space.
that's the greatest.
And then
It's so good.
we also donate money to no-kill animal shelters, Big Brothers, Big
Nothing
Sisters,
comes for free in
and
a Van
food
Kirk
banks.
bingo session.
We've gotten some people, because
Have
as the
really
night goes on, they're
revealed a lot.
drinking.
Yeah.
One, I can't tell it. No,
Don't-
I
you can't.
people
Online-
already had me
online
there with
bingo?
this secret.
Damn, when
Yeah,
they hit
Corey, you should join him. It's
Dude,
should
I
crunch
have
numbers.
comics come on and like call bingo numbers. I would love to have you join.
I'm
in.
all about it.
Okay,
Let's do
all
it.
right. I'll
Okay,
hit you
good,
up.
good,
happening.
good.
Okay, here we go. Sent in by Carlene McDermott
Love
at
it. She be
Carlene.
Thank you, girl.
That
She
could
sends
be
a
merch.
lot in.
At
She's
this
got-
point, it could be merch.
She be Carlene could be a shirt, and we just, I mean,
She be Carlene is on Warp Tour.
She be Carlene, but in the same font as Toys R Us.
Yeah, that works.
Or like that 70s like cursive-y font.
Okay.
And then there's like an outline.
Maybe
of
she's
her
born
face.
with it. Maybe she be Carlene. She be Carlene. Okay. An Italian man stepped outside to cool off after quarreling with his wife. Did you guys already do this one? I felt like I felt like you did. After he and his wife had a fight.
Oh, yes. We did.
You
It's a
two
great story. I'm
sons of
sorry. It's a
bitches.
great
Sorry,
story.
but it's the
Are
best
you just
story.
looking for dumb people
I
telling
know.
stories?
We got to do a
Stick
daily
to your
show.
COVID.
I
Stick
know.
to your COVID.
We try.
Maybe COVID plays a role.
This
in
is a great story.
Okay. He stepped outside to cool off after quarreling with his wife and ended up walking way too far. Italians have nicknamed him Forrest Gump on social media after
Because he's dumb.
yeah,
What?
after because he owns Apple stock. I love this. This is like almost a Greenlee. After the slow-witted hero of a 1994 movie played by Tom Hanks, who runs thousands of miles across the United States.
That's like
you get it. Will.
Everybody
We all
knows
know
him.
it.
Even if you didn't see the movie Forrest Gump, you know who he was.
Police stopped the Italian man's walk at 2 a.m. in Fano. I don't know. It's on the Adriatic coast.
He made it all the way
Wild
to the
Adriatic.
coast.
He made it to the
He would have
coast.
kept walking, Dan, if there wasn't water in his face.
How many miles do you
I
think
can't
he walked?
remember.
You can't?
I can't.
Okay,
but
you go third. You will know that you are shaded with familiarity. But
I have
let's-
familiarity with it, but let's let Corey go.
Corey, how
Okay.
far do you
Did
think
they-
this dude walked?
Did they give a time period between when he left?
No, I'm not. I haven't given
Okay.
any other details other than he was hot. when
Okay,
he
so
left.
I'm a chubby white man and I walk about 12 miles a day, so I know that's not that big a deal. I'm gonna say, how about 90 miles?
90. Okay, Jason
Yeah,
ran.
that's a good one.
So I have some memory, and I'm going to guess to see if this is really how well my memory
Yeah,
works.
now
Yeah, this
you're
is a
playing. You
memory
guys are
game.
playing your
This
own
is a
game.
memory game.
285 miles.
Okay.
I thought it was
shit.
200 miles.
Okay. None of you are exactly right.
See, we couldn't remember it.
One of you is pretty close.
Okay.
Not me.
They found him a week after he left Como in the north.
week.
A week. He walked 280 miles.
Okay, I was close.
Jay, you were
Hey.
close.
Okay,
But
dude.
let's break it down. 7 days.
280 miles.
40 miles,
40
a,
miles
day.
a day.
Dude, Corey, you said
A
you
lot of
walked 12 miles.
steps. Bro got his steps in.
I mean,
I walk about 12 and it takes me about like
2 hours?
It's not about 2.5, 3. Sometimes I do like
3
sometimes
hours.
I'll do 20 if it's like a Saturday, but like I'm booking it pretty good. like
But,
that's
like,
insane.
I do 10 miles
Let's
a day.
say-
I walk 10 miles a
Let's
day.
say he was 4 hours mad. Okay?
Yeah.
He's 4 hours mad. Don't you think at that point he would start thinking, She's gonna come find me.
So my favorite.
Like, at what point did he decide I'm just gonna keep going?
On walking. This
10
is like
hours
this
in,
is
2 days in.
This is Bruce Springsteen, Hungry Heart. Got
like
a wife
maybe-
and kids in Baltimore, Jack. I went out for a ride and I never came back. This is
Everybody's
the
got
old.
Hungry Heart.
Walk in a circle. Like,
Yeah,
remember that
yeah.
episode of The Office when Michael Scott was wanting The Office to run a 5K and
Yes.
they finish it and Toby goes, "Where are we at?" And he goes, "I guess like 5 kilometers away from the office." And they're like, "Why didn't you just have us go in a circle?" Like,
Yes.
why?
It's so brilliant because you got to go 5 kilometers back. But he went out there. He is
Michael Scott's
my favorite.
something breast cancer fun run for
Yeah.
kids. I can't
Yes,
remember all of it.
So
Diabetes.
For diabetes.
Yeah.
My favorite joke that we've written recently was about the movie Free Solo. I don't know if you saw the movie Free Solo,
Not yet.
Corey. It's a great movie. And I would say this, and you'll appreciate this when you see it. Dan, you've seen it, right?
No.
I got to see it. This will make sense to anybody who's seen the movie, but it is a wonderful movie about a man who's trying to climb out of a relationship. That is what I feel about this guy. He is a guy trying to walk out of his current marital situation.
To walk it off.
I mean,
and he
isn't that a
couldn't.
Southern thing and like a Rochelle thing? And it definitely was a St. Louis thing. When you got hurt, someone was like, walk it off.
Yeah.
Yes.
You walked that
I've had
shit
a
off.
buddy who got arrested for walking drunk down the street from a girlfriend, but he made it like 7 miles before he was arrested, not 280. Like that's
There's a lot of
fucking
things
bananas.
that get shrugged off. Walk it off. You just had your bell rung. Looks like you got a stinger. It's like, no, I've damaged my spinal cord.
Yes.
I'm concussed.
Yeah.
You're fighting with your wife.
Yeah.
Walk it off.
Dan, so 40 miles in, this guy's probably like not that mad anymore, but maybe mad in some ways. 80 miles in, he's like, how much do I value the life I have with this person? It's like 100, right?
180 miles
100
in.
miles in, he's like, I could start a whole new
I'm
life.
a new me. He's not even him anymore.
It's like, I feel better.
Dan, 180 miles
Pants
in.
don't fit.
That's
Pants
right.
are
Pants
thin,
now
yeah.
thin.
He's like, where should I go? The beach? There's girls
Is
at the
there
beach.
not? How many bars did this guy pass?
That's right.
Like on
A
his
lot.
way. Like why isn't he doing any of that?
200 miles
He got
in.
a $485 police fine for breaching curfew because he's walking at night.
Yeah.
The story was first reported by a newspaper that I can't pronounce, but quickly went viral on Italian media. Some comments on social media presented the man as heroic and criticized the fine. One said he should have been rewarded and given a new pair of shoes. Another praised him for walking off his cool anger rather than resorting to violence. Why is that
Agreed.
the other option, though?
What?
Just
Dan,
talk.
I know several Italians from comedy and being in New York, and nothing has ever made more sense than one of his Italian buddies saying he should get a reward and a new pair of shoes.
And a new pair of
pair of
shoes.
shoes.
Get him a new pair of shoes.
Hey, listen to me, but you know what? She shouldn't have given him back the engagement ring. I'm just
you
going
go.
to say that.
Hey, boom!
Hey, see, we brought it
The
full
man
circle.
told police, quote, I came here on foot. I didn't use any transport, he said. Along the way, I met people who offered me food and drink.
This
Yeah, and he's like,
Wait,
see, these guys treat me nice. These guys appreciate me. They've never met me before.
Is this Italian Burning Man?
I know. Quote, I'm okay, just a bit tired, having averaged 60 kilometers a day.
God damn.
Police found him wandering aimlessly and cold at night on a coastal highway. After checking his ID in their database, they found that his wife had reported him missing and her pissed. I made that last part up.
Yeah.
So they contacted her and she traveled to Fano to collect him. The Italian.
Oh, great. That's going to be a nice ride for her. She's
That's
pissed.
gonna be a
The
good
whole way
collection.
she's like listening to the America song, Italian
And he
Highway.
stank.
Yeah. The Italian reports did not say how she reacted upon learning that he had picked up the fine. I'm going to share an image with you guys before we get out of here. You can see how far he walked on this
Is
map.
this a map?
Yes. So
Oh
those
my
are the
God.
two. Look at that's the point from Como to Fano.
Oh my God.
That's a walk.
That's Lake Como.
Yes.
Holy God.
Oh, dude.
He
this
went for
guy
it.
went so far.
All right, we got to wrap it up before we do.
How old?
do you think this
I
guy is?
cannot
Do you
remember.
No,
I
I
don't.
can't
Okay.
remember.
All right, you are a guest, Corey. Do you want to go first, Tig, or last?
I would like to go first, and I would like to say that the distance traveled makes you think this is a younger man.
That's right.
He was able to keep up. But I'm going to say he was a lot older because only an older man is like, you know what's better than being with her? Walking 200 and something miles.
Wandering, yes.
That's an old man's game. So I'm going to go somewhere in the middle of someone old enough to want to do it, but young enough to be able to do it. I'm going to say that this man was 58 years old.
Okay.
Ooh, that's such a good age.
I think he was
Okay.
46.
46 from Randy. Jason Sklar.
I'm going to say 41.
41.
41 years
okay,
old.
we'll get out of here on this because the guy who walked out of anger
280 miles.
280 miles is 48 years old.
I
Hey,
did not remember that.
we're not even 48 anymore as of this week.
We're 49
I
now.
know.
so
Happy
I guess-
birthday.
Happy
to you,
birthday,
by the
guys.
way.
man.
Thank you.
Hey, just appreciate you so much, Corey. I'm so excited for all your success, and let every single person who is joining the Corey Forrester train
Jump on it, you guys. Check out Well Read, that podcast. Start there.
Through
and
the
then
Screen
Through
Door.
the Screen Door. Get the book. Check the rant out. It'll blow your mind. It'll weirdly make you feel hopeful, I think, too.
That's what everybody kept saying. They're like, this was so sweet and nice to watch. And I'm like, that's the angriest I've ever been.
I dropped so many F-bombs, but you know what? It was worth it, and you were
No,
justified.
it's hopeful because it's somebody calling shit out, and it's so beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I love it. Thanks, Corey. Thanks so much, buddy.
Can I say something before I get out of
Yes.
here?
Yeah.
Sure.
My buddy Robbie wanted me to tell you guys, and this is something he says to me all the time. It is absolute bullshit that Cheap Seats is not still on television.
Man, come on. That'd be the greatest thing in the
Thank
world
you
if it
for
ever came
saying
back.
that.
But it did come back without us, but that's how it does. All right. You got listen to this. We got to say, oh, shit, we got to get back to work, y'all.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Scarpins Avenue.
A podcast network.